This year was supposed to be a hot one for the real estate market, but with people now staying home, self-isolating, what does it mean for anyone trying to sell and buy homes? For more on this, David Fleming with Toronto Realty Blog is joining us remotely, of course, this morning. Good to chat with you this morning, David. I know you work in the Toronto area, but I imagine a similar scene right across the country. Are showings and new listings still happening?
Believe it or not, Lindsey, yeah, we are still seeing new listings come out. The tough part for listings right now is that there's this kind of, moral dilemma about whether or not we should be hosting open houses. And on the weekend, you saw most people did not host open houses. In fact, there was some realtors being shamed on social media for having open houses. Whether or not we still have listings, whether or not we still have buyers, I mean, people still do need to buy and sell. So most agents are taking precautions with Purell, rubber gloves, etc. at properties for sale, and we're not allowing double bookings and only a couple people in the house at the same time.
If you've got your house listed right now, what should you do? How should you be feeling?
I think people are nervous for sure. Now, keep in mind, some people need to sell. Some people merely want to sell. So there are some people that are just trying their luck out there. There are some people that actively need to sell their home. Perhaps they're moving, perhaps they're being job transferred, maybe they've already bought something. I would say it's a change in pricing strategy for a lot of people. In the Toronto market, we're accustomed to holding back offers while listing low. Now you're seeing, finally, people pricing at fair market value with offers anytime.
I want to ask you more about housing prices. What are we going to see in the next little while? What do you think?
I mean, if this continues, I don't think it's a stretch to say that prices are probably going to at least stop appreciating, probably remain flat, maybe even dip a little bit. But bear in mind, we had a crazy start to January, February with prices skyrocketing. So if we just sort of see things level off again, I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Do you think this will look similar to what the real estate market looked like in the 2008 recession?
Believe it or not, it wasn't that bad, but that's because prices were so low back then. So on a relative basis, you lose a few points. It's not nearly as much as it would be now when prices are more than double. So it's too early to tell, but I think the market in the last year has been way stronger than it was in, say, 2007 before that run up to the 2008 drop off.
I have to think that, inventory is going to be quite low. What will that do to pricing, if anything?
If inventory is low and demand is the same, then believe it or not, prices go up. I think demand is going to dip. I think a lot of people are on the sidelines, but there are some buyers out there that lost in multiple offers, whether it's on houses or condos in January, February. They're loving their lives right now. They get to go in and bid on places with a real, true, transparent price with the offers anytime, rather than say what we've always seen, which is the low prices with holdbacks on offers. So I do think supply is going to dip, but I think demand is going to dip too.
I'm thinking about my cousin who just purchased a home in Ottawa and had been trying to find a home for the last 6 months. With multiple offers coming to the table, they were able to get what I'm going to say was a bit of a deal last week. Yeah. Are there deals out there? If somebody wants to get in on the market now, would you recommend that?
It depends on the motivation, right? I mean, to me, if a buyer has been looking for months and they're still looking, say that, it's a couple and they're still pregnant, they still need to move out of their one-bedroom rental into a house, then yes, I do think that you're getting a relative deal. It's not a steal. But if things continue this way, if we find ourselves in this condition for 3 to 4 months, I do think prices will dip a little bit. Now, I'm a long-term bull, and you got to remember that real estate's a long-term game. If someone's looking to be in a house for 10 years, 2 months from now, if you're getting a few points off, it's not a bad time to jump in.
What about the rental market?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough out there in the rental market because we saw so many listings come out in January, February. 2019, 2020, these were really the years of the one-bedroom condo investor. So we've seen a little bit of dip in rental prices, and there's a lot coming on. Mind you, a lot of the Airbnb units in Toronto, those are up for sale now of investors trying to get out.
Yeah, I wondered about that. If people were as willing to go into the short-term rental market, how that's affecting those that own those short-term rentals.
Yeah, not as easy to put a short-term rental up right now. So at condos downtown like ICE, for example, you saw a slew of vacant units come onto the market last week. I suspect those were owned by Airbnbers.
All right, David Fleming, we appreciate your time and insight. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Lindsey. Take care.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.